Our top story today takes us to the intricate link between timekeeping and the Earth's rotation, a balance which is now being disrupted by human influence. The Earth's rotation is slowing, altered by the melting polar ice. A recent study suggests a profound global event. The entire world will soon lose a second, an adjustment that brings attention not only to our clocks but also to the climate changing. This phenomenon, a direct consequence of global warming. It is changing how we measure time itself. Now let's try to understand it properly. The melting polar ice is not only raising sea levels but also redistributing mass across the planet, slowing its rotation. However, deep beneath the Earth's surface, shifts in the planet's core are speeding it up, setting the stage for the removal of a second. A negative leap second has never before been in fact added or tested. The unforeseen problems it could unleash are significant, touching everything from global computing systems to the very fabric of timekeeping. This leap second adjustment, typically a routine affair to align atomic time with astronomical time, is now embroiled in complexity due to changes beneath our feet and in the ice above. While for most life will go on unchanged, the implications of global computing systems are profound. Preparing for this leap second removal involves reprogramming and recalibrating, a task that carries the risk of errors in systems requiring precision timing. This study not only highlights the tangible impacts of climate change, but also serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of a planet's systems. The fact that human actions are impacting the Earth's rotation to a measurable degree is nothing short of amazing. Yet, this acceleration means we must adapt our global timekeeping. Well, let's now delve into a story where luxury meets urgency. Now, a new study has painted a sobering picture for wine lovers, where everywhere the cherished characteristics of your favorite wines, flavor, color, even alcohol content may soon be memories. Climate change is affecting grape yield, composition, and wine quality. The global wine industry is facing an unprecedented challenge. As temperatures are climbing and water is becoming scarce, up to 70% of wine regions are expected to lose their production suitability if global warming exceeds 2 degrees Celsius, a threshold set by the Paris Agreement. While wine growing won't disappear, it faces daunting challenges ahead. The effect of the climate change can be complex. Excessive heat can sunburn grapes, diminish quality, and alter the delicate balance of flavors. It's not just about warmer days, but also about warmer nights which prevent grapes from cooling. This can degrade the compounds that give wine its complexity and character. The identity of wines as we know it is evolving. Emerging wine regions such as southern United Kingdom might find a new place on the map. This as traditional powerhouses like Italy and Spain confront the existential risks of droughts and heat waves. In California alone, the area suitable for viticulture could halve by the century's end. Moreover, the challenge extends beyond the vineyard. Reduced water availability not only threatens grape yield, but also the very essence of what makes each wine unique. Now, as the world grapples with climate change, the wine industry is moving towards adaptation for survival. Australia will be setting up a $653 million fund to help expand solar panel manufacturing at homes. Now, the announcement was made by the nation's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese as it looks to ramp up its transition to renewable energy from coal power.
The best solar resources in the world up above us, and they're free. We have some of the best wind resources. We have also the best human resources. Australia has been world leading at innovation. A vision for Australia that sees renewable energy powering advanced manufacturing here to produce more in Australia. Powered by clean energy, positioning ourselves to be a renewable energy superpower for the world.
Albanese's centre-left Labour government has been boosting spending to finance new wind, solar and battery projects. An investment of over $26 million since he came to power in 2022. The government is targeting 82% renewable power by 2030 in the energy grid, from around 40% at present. The initiative will include production subsidies and grants. It will also bolster manufacturing of solar panels at the site of Australia's top power producer, AGL Energy's former coal-fired Lidl power station.
We have the highest per capita use of solar panels on roofs of any country in the world. But of all of those, about 1% of them are made in Australia.
Well, not a day goes by without one of the world's approximately 10,000 zoos announcing the birth of a captive-born resident. From elephants to rhinos, these birth announcements are invariably accompanied by the bold claim that a new animal baby born into captivity is helping to secure the future of their species. But as captive breeding programs and consistent human intervention can be a viable strategy to slow down, question remains, will they help in the long run? Let's understand this. On Wednesday, a Paris zoo welcomed a young Manati cow, hoping it will breed with one of its males and help secure the future of a species that is under threat in tropical waters. Manatis, who are also called sea cows, graze on underwater vegetation and are docile marine mammals that live in the shallow waters of the Caribbean. But due to the loss of habitat, repeated injuries from ships, its propellers and pollution, their numbers have dwindled to less than 10,000. Their survival in the wild is now threatened by their slow reproduction cycle and the limited range of temperatures they can tolerate, which makes them vulnerable to climate change. So even though reproduction in captivity may play a significant role in the recovery of these manatees, it endures some long-term concerns, beginning with phenotypic changes, which are commonly referred to as physical and behavioral changes. According to conservation biologists based at the Australian National University, phenotypic changes may reduce their survival chances once released into the wild. No. Well, authors explain the conditions that animals experience in captivity are often very different to what they face in the wild, which can cause them to change in a number of ways. And some of these changes are obvious, but others are more difficult to identify. Nonetheless, these changes can limit the effectiveness of reproduction programs for the threatened species. These phenotype changes include butterflies that forget how to migrate after release to the wild, captive-bred big cats with weaker jaws because they are maintained on a diet of ground meat, songbirds that in fact learn the wrong song in captivity, thereby preventing them from breeding in the wild, captive breed quolls that have lost their fear of predators only 13 generations or years after translocation to predator-free islands, and captive-bred parrots whose wing shapes differ significantly from their wild relatives, making them less capable of surviving long-distance migratory flights. Apart from birds and wild cats, another extreme example of animal condition in zoos is of the polar bear. polar bears held captive in zoos not only get adequate living conditions but are also facing utmost threat in captive environments that are negatively impacting climate change. The construction of the polar bears' enclosures, the water treatment, climate control, food production and overall zoo infrastructure all create significant emissions that impact the environment negatively. And even though the carbon footprint of zoos in general is huge, it is rarely acknowledged, despite zoo claims that they exist to serve conservation goals. While people enjoy seeing wild animals in zoos, it is time we recognize that holding wild animals captive for life and over generations is not only harmful to the welfare of animals, but it's also a dangerous distraction away from the true threats facing these animals in their natural habitats. Now, visitors at a German zoo were treated to a special sight on Wednesday as the zoo's animals went on an Easter egg hunt. The zoo made special edible Easter eggs with shells made from flour and water and then filled with fruit and nuts. Our next report gets you more visuals on this. Take a look and then return soon because we will be back with more global news and updates.